It's a perfect summer evening. You're hosting a barbecue in your own backyard. Friends are laughing, kids are splashing in the pool, and the smell of grilled burgers fills the air. Life feels normal. Peaceful. Your peace. Then she shows up. This woman, let's call her Karen, stood on my porch and accused me of trespassing, on my own property. She claimed my pool violated HOA rules. Threatened fines. Demanded inspections. All with the confidence of someone who'd done this 1,000 times. But here's the thing, my home wasn't just outside her HOA's jurisdiction. It wasn't even close. That red line. It might as well have been a wall. A legal wall. One she refused to see. What started as a ridiculous accusation turned into a war. A war of paperwork, legal threats, and a lawsuit that dragged my family through hell for months. She called the police. Forged HOA documents. Even tried to turn the neighborhood against me. But Karen made one fatal mistake. She didn't know who she was messing with. This isn't just about a pool. It's about what happens when someone tries to steal your peace, and how far they'll go when you refuse to let them. This is my sanctuary, and for years, this neighborhood felt like a slice of paradise. My wife, our 2 kids, and I moved here for the quiet, the kind of place where you know everyone's dog but nobody's business. We weren't the block party family, but we belonged. If someone needed sugar or a jumper cable, we were there. That's how it worked. Or so I thought. Then there was Karen. I'd seen her around. Always patrolling. Always observing, but that day, she wasn't just watching. She came to declare war. Your pool is an unauthorized structure. You're trespassing on community property. You have 48 hours to drain it or face fines. Trespassing. My pool. On my land. I almost laughed. Almost. But then she said the words that changed everything, the HOA won't tolerate this. I checked the records. Double-checked. Triple-checked. Our home sat 300 feet outside the HOA's zone. That red line. It was a fortress wall. Or should have been. Maps can be wrong. The HOA's authority is moral, not just legal. She started recruiting. Turned homeowner meetings into tribunals. My pool was suddenly a safety hazard, a property value killer, even though her own house had a rusted swing set visible from space. Maybe we should just apologize. Keep the peace. That's when I knew, this wasn't about a pool. It was about who gets to decide what peace really means. Karen photocopying flyers, dialing a phone, meeting with a man in a suit. 48 hours later. My doorbell rings. Open to find a police officer holding a citation. Officer. Sir, we've had a complaint about trespassing and, unauthorized aquatic activities. I'd played by the rules. I'd shown her proof. But Karen didn't want truth. She wanted to surrender. It started with a warning taped to my door. Then another. And another. Each one more dramatic than the last. Unauthorized pool use. Violation of HOA rules. Immediate action required. I almost laughed the first time. By the 10th, it wasn't funny anymore. She wasn't just leaving notes. She was everywhere. I'd catch her crouched behind her mailbox, phone aimed at my yard. She'd corner me in the driveway, waving her clipboard like a badge. One afternoon, she marched up to me in front of 2 neighbors and declared, "You are trespassing on HOA property, and I will make sure you pay." She filed a formal complaint with the HOA, even though I wasn't a member. She called the police, claiming I was using the pool illegally. I'll never forget the look on the officer's face when I showed him my deed. He just shrugged and said, "We have to follow up on every complaint." I realized if Karen was going to make this official, so was I. Every note, every email, every police visit, I documented it all. I started recording our conversations, saving every letter. I reached out to the HOA board, sent them copies of my property documents, and asked for a written statement confirming I wasn't under their authority. I thought that would be the end of it. But Karen wasn't interested in facts. She doubled down. The warnings kept coming. The police kept coming. My kids started asking why the neighbors were staring. My wife stopped inviting friends over. The stress was getting to us. I felt embarrassed, angry, and helpless, all at once. Karen started impersonating HOA officials. She made her own flyers, complete with fake letterhead, and handed them out to everyone on the block. She called another emergency meeting, this time urging neighbors to sign a petition against me. Some did. Others just wanted the drama to end. She called the police again, this time accusing me of unauthorized splash distribution. I kid you not, that was the actual phrase. The officer, trying not to laugh, said, "Look, sir, I have to file a report," but, he trailed off, shaking his head. I knew I had to protect myself. I hired a lawyer, gathered every piece of evidence, and prepared for whatever Karen would throw at me next. The HOA board, tired of the complaints, called a public meeting to address the issue once and for all. The tension was electric. Neighbors argued. Karen shouted. I presented my documents, calmly explaining that my property was not in the HOA. The board backed me up. But Karen wasn't done. She stormed out, vowing to take me to court. I couldn't believe it. After everything, she was really going to drag us into court. But I was ready. I had the truth on my side, and I wasn't backing down. I never thought I'd see the inside of a courtroom over a backyard pool. But there I was, ready to defend not just my property, but my family's peace of mind. My lawyer and I had spent weeks preparing, every document, every map, every email Karen ever sent. I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for anyone who's ever been pushed around by someone abusing their power. We laid it all out. The judge listened quietly, flipping through the evidence. Karen's attorney tried to argue that community, moral authority gave her the right to enforce rules, but the judge interrupted, "We are here to discuss legal authority, not moral opinion." I almost smiled right there in court. Judge. The evidence is clear. The defendant's property is not subject to the HOA's jurisdiction. The case is dismissed. Furthermore, given the pattern of harassment, I am issuing a restraining order against the plaintiff. Ms. Karen, you are to have no further contact with the defendant or his family. For the first time in months, I felt heard, and safe. The weight that had been pressing on my chest finally lifted. I could breathe again. I learned a lot through all this. The importance of documentation, every note, every email, every conversation. The value of knowing your rights and reading the fine print. And maybe most importantly, the power of standing together as a community. When people finally spoke up, when the truth came out, justice followed. This wasn't just about me. It was about everyone who's ever been bullied by someone misusing power. About making sure that rules are fair, that authority is checked, and that no one is above the law, not even the loudest voice on the block. Karen moved away not long after the ruling. The neighborhood healed. People started talking again, fences mended, literally and figuratively. I reclaimed my peace, my backyard, my sense of home. If you're facing a similar battle, know that you're not alone, and you can fight back. Stand your ground, know your rights, and don't let anyone steal your peace. Justice isn't always easy, but it's worth it. If you've made it this far, thank you. I hope my story has given you more than just a few laughs or gasps. I hope it's given you the confidence to stand up for yourself, too. Because, as I learned, sometimes the only thing standing between you and your peace of mind is a stack of paperwork and the courage to use it. Here's what I wish I'd known from the start. Document everything. Every note, every conversation, every strange encounter, write it down, save it, record it. Know your rights. Whether you're dealing with an HOA, a neighbor, or any authority figure, take the time to read the fine print and understand where their power ends and yours begins. Don't be afraid to get help. Consult a lawyer if you need to. There are organizations out there, legal aid, community groups, even online forums, where you can get advice and support. And most importantly, don't let anyone intimidate you into silence. Your home is your sanctuary, and you have the right to protect it. I want to hear from you. Drop your stories in the comments below, whether it's about a power-hungry HOA, a neighbor who just won't quit, or how you stood up for yourself when it mattered most. Let's build a community where we support each other, share advice, and remind everyone that no one has to go through this alone. Respect for boundaries, legal and personal, is the foundation of any healthy community. It's what lets us live side by side, enjoy our homes, and trust our neighbors. When someone crosses those lines, it's up to all of us to speak up, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who calls this place home. Thank you for spending this time with me, for listening, for caring, and for being part of this conversation. If you found my story helpful or inspiring, please subscribe for more true stories, tips, and advocacy. Let's keep this dialogue going, because together, we can make our communities stronger, safer, and more just.